Hello everyone, this is MrSneakyy and this is going to be the ultimate tip video for all of you players. This is new, existing, any type of player. You're going to find something new that you're going to need to know about the game during this video. So smash like, comment and subscribe and stay tuned for everything to do with Call of Dragons and all the secret tips to take advantage and power up in the game. Hello, so yes, we're going into everything you need to know about the game, every single tip to give yourself the edge in Call of Dragons. So, the first one we're going to go over is, honestly, everyone does state it, but everyone doesn't do it enough, is scouting. To remind you guys, everything in this other tab, these caves, these camps, everything, supplies, in the Season 1 and Season 2 reset, you're going to be able to reclaim them all. So you're going to be able to reclaim everything again on the map. So for you guys as a free-to-play player, you should be taking advantage of those. Because again, the more you do it and the more you actually go through, especially the camps will give you even, obviously, some goodies like gems. But in the later stages, if it showcases it, if we're lucky, there we go. It will give you tier 4 units. So you're able to even get 3 tier 4 units in the later stages in Season 2 when you're in the Call of Dragons scouting area. So remember guys, always scout and get those goodies for your account. So the next tip I'm going to go into is artifacts and just explain them. There's a difference between artifacts, and this is the one misconception a lot of players don't understand, because there is some sort of priority when it comes to artifacts. A lot of people might disagree, I don't care, but there is a order and structure to what you should be focusing on. So when it comes to a artifact, you have two types. You have a PvP artifact, and then you have a PvE artifact. And the difference is due to the rage cost. So if you look at something like the Shadow Blades or even the Viola Bow here, they both have a cooldown of 1 minute 30 and a rage cost of 1,200, meaning when you're in the fight and you're fighting someone, you have to generate 1,200 rage before you can activate this skill. But if you look at a artifact like Bomb Flinger is a PvE artifact, similar to even the Enchiridion of Advanced Incantations. This is a PvE artifact too. Another one, Codex of Prophecy. And if you've noticed, there's no rage cost. The reason is, if you use these in PvP, you will not get any benefit. So remember, do not use any of these in PvP because it does not work. When you read the skill itself, it even explicitly tells you this will shield damage from Darklings, Behemoths, and Dark Creatures. And when you look at Bomb Flinger, the damage is dealt to a selected legion, which is Darklings, Dark Creatures, and Behemoths only. The only areas you can use these, and this is a follow-on, so this is tip number 3 now, after the tip number 2, which is PvP versus PvE artifacts. Those PvE artifacts can be used in Dragon Trials. So if we just quickly run all the way back to a really easy challenge right now, and just make a march on screen and put Bomb Flinger on just to showcase it, you're going to be able to see how good this is. So again, we're going to be able to attack this guy. We're going to press Q, and then we can instantly press Q, and there's Bomb Flinger. And Bomb Flinger's stunned the target, and it's dealt the damage, right? And again, this is now on a 1 minute 30 cooldown, and you're going to be able to use this again in 1 minute 30 to stun and deal damage to another target. So again, that's a really top tip for you guys. That is tip number 3, is your artifacts. Again, your PvE artifacts are going to be able to be used in Dragon Trials. So just remember, tip number 2 and tip number 3 is you got PvP and PvE artifacts. the difference is the rage cost, and then obviously your PvE artifacts are going to be able to be used in Dragon Trials and help you push through and get those 3 stars. So the next tip is going to be tip number 4, and that is to do with XP. So the next couple of tips, maybe 5 and 6, again, are going to be all tips on XP. So the first one is obviously knowing that your gatherers can get you XP for your primary commanders. And the way to do this is very simple. You must obviously find a tile that you can farm, hit the gather, click create legions, and make sure your primary commander is a gathering commander. When you do this, it allows them to use their talents that generates XP for gathering. So then if you put someone like Craig behind them and send this now to farm, it allows you to generate XP for both of those marches. So if you look here now, you're going to be able to see like my Keller. She generated 10,000 XP for herself and 10,000 XP for the secondary commander. Obviously, the XP is always split, as you can see right here. The only time you ever get XP which isn't split, and this is now the next tip, so tip number 5, is when your commander, your gathering commander, has fully maxed out their daily hero XP for that day. So in order for this to work, and obviously the daily XP mechanic to work, what I'm talking about, guys, and this is on tip 5 still, is if you go to any of our commanders, your Earth's Grace talent here must be unlocked. So in the very, 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 very early game, and now this is tip number 6, you should put 1 point or a couple of XP points into your gatherers to get your Earth's Grace to 3 out of 3 and allow you to gather XP, and then you're going to be able to level up your gathering commanders. And by doing this, having Earth's Grace here, here, and obviously up here, it's going to grant you a big bonus amount of XP towards your gathering commander that's going to obviously transition and level up your secondary commanders. So again, tip number 4, you can use your gathering commander as the primary commander. Tip number 5, obviously when you're gathering, you need to ensure you have that tip unlocked, or the XP system unlocked. And then obviously the last tip to do with XP is that the XP is split between your primary and secondary commander when it comes to gathering. The next tip, which is tip number 7 now, is your CP. So you should always, and I'm bad on this account for doing it at the moment, but you should always empty your CP. You should always be using your CP because this is a resource that's generated over time. So the quicker you can use it, the quicker it can regenerate, and the quicker you can get more rewards for the account. So that's obviously tip number 7. Tip number 8, how should you use your CP? So in the early game, you should always focus on the patrols, because patrols will give you the most amount of XP in the early game, as well as the next tip, which is tip number 9 now, I believe, would be that every kill, first kill on a patrol, will give you a reward. So it will give you a either gold key or a artifact key if it is a dark creature. So always use your CP, kill the highest level of the patrol that you can to obviously level up your heroes. The way XP is now distributed, and this is tip number 10 now in the video, is you're going to see is split again. So this match is going to give you 30,000 XP. This XP is now buffed through your policies or through your tech, but then that XP is split between your marches. So you can see that I'm gaining almost 41,200 XP per kill. And if you look up the next match, they get the same, and the next match they get the same, and they get the same. So everyone gets the same amount of XP. It's just that the fact that the primary and secondary commander, again, similar to gathering, splits the XP between them But if you just sent a single march to kill it, so it was just a single primary commander and no deputy, they would get the full 40,000 or the full amount of XP that is given. So that's 10 tips already covered in the video, and that is already going over scouting, artifacts, XP and CP. So if you've enjoyed the video so far, smash a like, comment and subscribe to the channel. But let's move accounts. Let's go to a more newer account and give you more tips from a free-to-play player perspective to give you guys a little bit more edge again in Call of Dragons. So the next tip is a tip that I was, again, the first to advocate on YouTube, and it's been spread around the world, but it is to solo forts. So solo forts is a very interesting mechanic. It allows you to get 100% of the rewards. So we're going to showcase how to do it here today. So at the moment, this is what most people would be doing. You'd be sharing a rally, like you can see here, and you'd be getting a nice bit of rewards, right? So what you can do is start a rally on a fort, like I have done here. Level 3s is a decent one to start it on compared to level 1s and 2s. But level 4, 5 and 6s are definitely better to solo fort than doing patrols. And we'll show you in 20 seconds why. But what you're going to be able to do is basically, I'm going to be targeting this fort. And we're going to be able to kick our alliance member from the rally. And the reason why we do this is if we kick them before our rally hits the fort, this is going to allow them to not use any CP. And the reason that is again, CP is only consumed when the rally starts to attack. So if you watch at the very top of the screen now, I'm just going to make sure no one joins. But when you get to the top of this screen, you're going to see 150 CP loss. And that is what I've just saved that partner who joined my rally. That's who I've been able to help with. So now we're going to be able to solo rally this fort. So there's only my march in here. You can see it nice and easy to do. Again, we kick them when we are marching towards the fort. Just again to remind you all for the tip. And now when we look at the rewards, it's a complete different story, right? We've got 1,800 worth of bucks. We've got 2 tokens on the gold. We've got 35 tokens on the beautiful spoils of war here, as well as some dust speed ups and the others. This is 80%, so this is tier 9. But if you look at something like tier 4, where you guys would be normally getting it, or tier 5, these are when you're sharing a rally between 2 or 3 players. You can see the big difference on how much XP you're losing out if you're not getting 100% of the rewards. So that is the next tip, tip 11, tip 10. I can't remember where we're at. We're going through so many tips, and that's to help you guys learn the game. So that is soloing forts. Remember, guys, that's how you want to do it. Nice and easy ways to get rewards. So let's move on to the next tip. So the final tip is all to do with your heroes. Now we're going to finish up the video right and nicely with everything to do with the tips with heroes. So especially if you are a free-to-play player like myself on this account, you can see we don't have that many options. That's nothing to do with the game being bad. That's just my luck being bad as well, because we've had a lot of, if you can look, you know, targeted focus. So our Craig's been very good. He's been skilled up. So as our Waldir, our Gowd has been 3-0. So we've opened already 3 chests worth of Gowds. That's what I'm talking about. We've been a bit unlucky on that end, right? So the first tip to do with your heroes is always, guys, if you're a free-to-play, work with what you got. Don't compare yourself to a whale and trying to get everyone maxed out. We're going to be doing it a little bit slower, and it will feel a lot more rewarding when we get to that stage, right? So that's the first tip. The second tip to do with your heroes is, as you can see here, always max the first skill. Even if you're a gathering commander, some people might disagree, but someone like Indis, for example, has a very, very powerful skill when she has this maxed out that you do need for Dragon Trials in Season 2 Plus. Because again, you're putting a 20% extra damage taken bonus on the enemy marches while you're healing your front line. So it's a very powerful skill, so always remember, guys, to max the first skill first. So that's the second tip. The third tip is, as you can see, your levels and your stars are separated. So compared to Rise of Kingdoms and other games, you're still able to, for example, go to level 46 and you can have a 46 point talent tree use, but you can still be 1 star. That is one thing you need to remember, because when you look at star levels, every star level you unlock will unlock your next skill. At level 20 is your deputy slot, so that's when you can have a secondary commander behind your Garwood or your primary hero of your choosing, and that would be the last tip. So to finish it out on the heroes, this is one thing that a lot of people are now again vouching out, but you guys should know this all by already. But every hero has a hero trust rating. You can see a lot of cool details in here to do with resources gathered, how much you've, you know, upgraded into him and what you've pumped into the hero, which is really cool. But you also unlock a dialogue option. To unlock all 3 dialogues, you must get your trust level to level 4. And by getting it to level 4, you're going to be able to click each one of these options, and you get 2 heads in the first one, 3 heads in the second, and 5 heads in the last. So in total, you'll get 10 sculptures for any of the heroes in the game if you get a trust level of 4. So that's everything in the game. I'm going to give you guys today nice, easy tips to keep you guys occupied on how to be better in the game, and give you guys a little bit of extra knowledge on what to do if you're, you know, maybe struggling on, you know, a little bit of aspects. I've covered a little bit of everywhere that's in the game. So we're going to be doing obviously more tips videos and a ultimate guide when we finish our Road to Glory series for you, so stay tuned for that. But that is going to be me, MrSneakyy, calling it quits now for the tips. So thank you for staying tuned and watching the video all the way through. If you found something, one of these tips, obviously informational, or if you learned something new today, smash a like and comment below what was your favorite tip. And also, guys, comment below what your tip is that I might have not mentioned in this episode so far, and I might be able to cover it in a future episode. So until the next time, guys, smash like, comment and subscribe to the channel for more daily Call of Dragons content with me and an official Call of Dragons content creator. And until next time, stay safe, stay sneaky, peace out.